Hey everyone, it's Twitch 65 on a Monday afternoon. It's a little after 3. You can hear the compressor going because I'm going to do a little spray painting. Yeah, working part-time is weird. I've worked 5 or 6 days in a row, and then now I've got 3 off. So I'm finally I can't get my Saturdays in. I got them after those 3. I'm going to have like 6 or 7 days in a row, and then 4 days after that with a 1-day break in there. So my regular Saturdays are all kind of screwed up. But anyhow, we're getting back to Space Gits. A couple of live streams ago, we started working on this armored crawler, if you will. And so I've got it together. I changed it up a bit, the cockpit, and gave it a quick paint. Tracks still need to be painted. And then everything needs to get a wash. All the terrain needs a wash. This needs a big ass wash. I decided I'm probably going to do this all steel color as well, but then it's just got that one little peg that's glued in place. And I haven't decided if I would want to, if I want to have it left in place where it can articulate, but in terms of game, I think I may just end up gluing it in place, but I'll leave it separate for now until I get that. But that's not the subject of today's video. That's one thing on the bench. If I get to it, I'll do a whole bunch of weathering. I did also from cardboard and cardstock, a little bit of wood, a little bit of foam, tube from a dog poop thing, and then some wood bits, and just some paint. It's the loo. So there's a teleportaloo that can transport you across the game board. I don't know. I always think of it as blue with a white roof. Probably, I still want to put a vent on the backside. I had played around with hand making a vent like this, but I don't feel like cutting in the cardboard, so I may end up taking this. I probably could do that right now. If I take this piece off, this piece of foam. Let's see how that looks. It might be a little too big, but it's too big. Anyhow, we'll come up with another vent. Maybe it's just mesh with a wire around it. It's got probably need a couple on the side, but yeah, that's the piece of gaming. Got some more terrain being made, not Space Gits related, but in the process of doing a in-flight B-17. So I've got the prop spinners all ready to go. They just need to be weathered up. The plane needs to be painted, put together. But what I want to work on today, I have a video coming out later on painting up some of these orcs. I did an initial one where I kind of looked at multiple colors, and I decided to go green. I did go back and look at orc flesh as its own, and I kind of like it. The only problem I have is this dude only has a few spots that are skin. Everything else is armor or pants or just his little thing. And so I'm going to make him I forget the dude's name. But anyhow, he's like the fuzz that shows up. I don't think he has any gameplay, but I decided to go with a blue and white theme, blue and white checker theme. And he'll be a subject of a upcoming video on how to get this weathered copper look. Copper, get it? He's a police officer and he's in copper armor. I decided to go with the bright green for that. So I still haven't decided if I'm going to use my old MCP bases. You get a million of them. I kind of what I've been doing. The supplied bases from the guy who made the models are this size, so they're all the same size. Could be interesting, glued down. I don't know if the color works. My board, maybe a little cityscape. We shall see. All the test models I've been doing. I don't have any on the desk right now. I just got one that's, I need more light. I didn't turn all my lights on. There we go. So they've just been black and then gray and then white. I've been playing around with some different colors. You'll see that. So what I'm going to try and do is build a couple different gangs with maybe different color. I don't know if he'd stand like that. Different color skin. Nah. So they can differentiate them on the board and keep the cop in the orc skin color. My first squad is going to be this forest sprite just because it's 2.0, which means I don't have to worry about it. I'm trying to keep all 2.0 paints until I'm finally done. Then you go back to the original speed paints. I don't have a ton of these, but yeah, that'll be the first squad I'm gonna work on. And instead of going with this gray, I've got a couple dudes here. We'll pick these guys as my first squad. Let's say they'll be the greens. They're kind of hard to see in the black. They're black. I will start with probably a gray zenithal highlight, and then I'll come back and just hit the skin with. I've tried two different things. One was a standard medium flesh tone, kind of that yellow undertone, and then I went with a desert color. Yeah, it's ripped off, but it's desert yellow, and I really like the desert yellow. I'm trying to think. Do I have it? I have a Dunkelglebe. It's a dark yellow. It's a German yellow. It's already thinned down, but I've got a couple German stuff that I want to work on. I have a sand yellow. Again, I've got another plane to work on for that. So I don't really have a yellow. I'll just have to mix it down. So anyhow, let's stop jabberjawing. Do a little painting. Like I said, I'm gonna make these guys my green skins. Get a glove on because this gets keep paint going everywhere. So first thing I'm going to do is just come back with my ghost gray, primer gray. Now, one thing I did do, right? So I've got these three dudes. They're all kind of in running poses. You can see. I like this guy with the claw. Boy, that blue tack is not doing its job being tacky, but we'll see. I should get him on bases. But then I also have some dudes that they're all going to be armed the same. So I'm not worried about the weapons. They're all going to have a hand weapon and a big shooter. But they're all kind of static. So they're going to be another color. I don't know if I'm going to go with a different shade of green, or maybe they'll be like the ochre color. I really liked the ochre color. I don't know what undercoat I'm going to use for that, but they need to kind of get based. And then for like the third team, I got my test model. He's kind of running. I could use him. I've also got a stick-a-bomb thrower. I really like that dude. Maybe the blue guys. I don't know. But that gives me, if I brought this dude in, that gives me 3. So I got a runner, stander, runner, stand. But I also have another heavily armored dude who's a runner. So he could go with this one. That's put Stick-a-Boy over there. Like I said, I've got this guy already glued onto his base. But I can print more if I need to. I've got one last model, which is this one. And he's just a heavy duty guy. So he may just get set aside for now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's not a bad squad right there. All right, so let's get to some quick priming. Put on the shades. Just clean. I gave this a quick clean. I'm giving it a deep dive clean in a bit. So what I like to do for this first zenithal is almost completely cover the black, because everything gets a coat. The initial is high down. Now, like the weapons and stuff, I'll come back and repaint those black by hand. But if you leave it that solid base black, it's just going to come up black with the speed paints. I just dribbled a bunch of paint everywhere. Bad on me. Should put the cover on. So areas like, let's see here, that's got some, I don't care about the big claw thing, but underneath, see, if I don't hit that, it's going to be just black. So like inside where his boot's cover overlap, I'm less concerned. But on the outside, I kind of want to see the color contrast. Do the same underneath his arms. Just try and leave it down the recesses. And sometimes I'll come back and hit that with an ink. I've done that. I like the look of that too. And I always try and brighten up the face. We've seen that guy a million times. Let's try somebody else. So like this guy's got a lot of armor going on here, but there's some skin. So I'm going to have to come back and figure out what I'm doing. Skin. So if we just did a true zenithal on this, I hate that term zenithal, it's so silly, right? All this would be black. You would not have any to work with. So I come back and hit him pretty hard. And I'll try to hit it this way, right? So his chin's still going to have some. His compressor, I think I've said it on several. It's old. It's showing its age. All right, I'm liking the way that dude's going to look. So like this one, I can probably leave more of that. I don't know, I might hit the top of that red, so. Works like they're red. I'm trying to generally keep the airbrush in a downward direction. So you can see like the underside of that cloth is going to be fairly dark. That boot's sticking out, so I want to see some contrast, and on the bottoms. I want stuff to look good on the gaming tabletop first. Artistic stuff. Hey, whoever just showed up. We're just painting today. This is stuff that it's gaming. It doesn't do well on my channel. It's one of my hobbies. But, so I tend to focus. That's interesting. I'm trying to figure out if that's a printing defect or meant to be in there. Once I get these boys painted out and the terrain done, I may end up just doing some Saturday night games with these guys. I still got the Gaslands too. Alright, these guys are not going to stand. Hopefully, I don't wear too much off. This guy's like one of my favorite characters. Models, I should say. There's just something about the German-looking stick bombs. He was one of my favorite dudes when I was painting up a bold action North African campaign. The German squad. They had him like tossing. You could set it up so you could have him tossing across his body, which I just thought was freaking awesome. Oh, that guy's not wearing. I make sure I hit that shoe. He doesn't have any boots on that foot. So from this, these guys are from Station Forge. And this is their basic Orks infantry kit. And it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11 or 12 different figures. And I put, these are the files that come together, like, you know, figure 1 with arm 1, arm 2, head 1, that kind of stuff. But you can see how you can mix and match. The heads aren't that drastically different. He's got like 2 goggle straps coming up and no real implants. And so you could mix and match, and depending on what you really wanted to do. And so I can make bigger squads if I really get the game going. See, that might have been the proper body to take with that guy with an extra stick of bomb right there. If we actually get into the gaming proper, or somebody else wants to make up their own squad with different weapons, then we'll have some choices and just print them up. And I'm going to keep these recipes pretty simple. Alright. Can't tell if that's a jersey. This guy doesn't have much skin on him either. Arms, a little bit on his face. That's really it. It's funny when they're in black. I like using the black base, but start hitting with the gray, and leave a little of that black undertone. You really get a sense of all the little bits. And this guy, he's got the vest on too, so I gotta evaluate. Maybe I want some dudes in a vest to be a squad or a team. I'm not sure what the term is in the game. I haven't read through the rules enough. I think it's a squad you're making up. Getting low on primer. Let's see, is this guy? Oh yeah, he's got the vest too, so those vest dudes are all together. Who knows, maybe these guys will get the same color as the, I don't know. I want to keep the copper in his own separate skin tone. Maybe these guys will get more of the reddish, purplish tone. There's not much skin. And since I've got him out, yeah, he's got the vest as well. Definitely armored. Most of this weapon, I think it's going to be more traditional paint. I think everybody's been primed now. Now I come back and make sure what are big spots you want to highlight, like the skin. Too much black. All right. Quick. Do I have any? No. There's a lot of armor on this guy's boots and stuff, so they're going to get... I got an old paint pot. Let's change out the primer. So yeah, this is not a painting tutorial or anything. It's just hanging out on the bench. That primer dries up in the air pretty quick. I already feel the airbrush is struggling. Probably needs a deep clean. And what I need is some paper towels for a quick color change. Assuming isn't all gummed up. So I did have that big spillage earlier because I tend not to paint with a color cat. All right. Hang with me, folks. We got to get out the heavy artillery. The warm water just isn't cutting it. There we go. Time to run a little ISO. Start with the pressure. I like this. Yeah, all the paint's out of there. I really like this Soltar 2020. It's got a small paint cup, which if I'm mixing like custom colors, I like, because then I don't tend to make up a big batch and have to throw it out. I make the change. But if I'm painting something big, I have a bigger cheap Chinese. I have two. I think one I threw out, but they are they're good for what they are. But I'm not spending money on another one just to have a big one. If I start playing around more 148 scale models, which feels more and more, I don't see me doing big ass bombers in that scale, but I might just have to get myself a cheap, big, like a 0.5 needle instead of this 0.3 in a big cup for laying on lots of fiber. All right, let's get this out of the way. All right, so I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing. I could have. Where'd you go? Not done this guy if I end up using the bases, but we'll see. So let's get our guys with the vests. I see this dude's got a vest as well. But he's got an open vest. He's got an open vest. That's a closed vest, closed vest. That guy's a closed vest. He's got the same. He's doing the Arnold Schwarzenegger look. Another closed vest. Another bear shirted guy. And here's my three, I think there's going to be my three greens. Bear shirts. I only have two dudes that open. Claw dude, sword dude. I'll set the heavy weapon dude over here. That'll be that squad. Excuse me. That sneeze was coming for a while. Alrighty. I'm going to go with the desert yellow. So we're going to give this a good shake. Even though it's Vallejo, it's been sitting, it'll still settle. Trying to remember if I used this or did I use Iraqi sand. It was Iraqi. They are real close. I'm going to go with the desert. Pretty sure that's what I used. And so I'll start with, of course, I don't have a mixing bottle ready. So we'll just do that cardinal sin of mixing in the cup. You guys hear some walking around. That's the puppers. She kind of wants to go out, but it's hotter than heck out there. This is a very old bottle. somewhere I've got me, yep, here it is, beat up brush. It was for dry brushing. So you can see a bit thinner. It might be a little too thin, so we'll do a test spray here on the paper towel. What I'm looking for is, can I get a controlled, let me show you. Where we go, right here. I'm trying to get a controlled spray. There'll always be some overspray. Just like that. Yeah, that pressure's still up a little higher than I'd like. Cleaning, there we go. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is violate my zenithal highlighting a little bit. Just hitting the highlight spots with this light brown. You probably can't hear me over the compressor. You can still see some of the zenithal. What I'm going to do is come back and just completely dry. Just give this guy a wash. Hands. So again, the airbrush is pointed down at the 45, so that I'm still leaving. Like if you take this dude from here and you turn him up, you can still see some of the gray, gradation. And I'm not going to do the whole model. For this guy, it's basically his upper body and his face. And I may come back and just hit some high spots on his face with some pure white. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Now, let's try this guy. So I'm not going to worry about this strap. I'll come back and hand paint it. Same, this was going to get some overspray. Same as with some of the cloths on there. I may just come back and paint them white because it's just going to be a leather. And his armor, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that just yet. It's going to be hand painted. This top part's going to be mostly black. It'll be armor. This one will probably have like a red or whatever color I end up giving them. Trying to keep the paint job simple. Make it mostly about skin tone per tone, who's on what team. So yeah, I'm not worried about that big overspray on the pants. I'm going to come back and clean those up. And some gray. And reestablish that zenithal. But this, I'll do it with dry brush work. Just like I'll reestablish some of the tones, undertones, with probably a green ink. Or maybe black is going to be too harsh. So I really think the green ink might work. Trying to get up under that armor. Should stay darker under there though. Like I said, I did it like I was in Caucasian skin color, light skin tone. They looked good. But then when I put them next to this yellowy tan color, the yellowness really shone through in the green speed paint. This bad boy's got a lot of skin. That is going to be some hard skin to get to in there. So, again, that's good. I'm going to stick with the 2.0 for skin tones. So I don't have to worry about it bleeding, because that is definitely going to bleed. That's going to be hard to not get that on the inside piece of that gun. In fact, I may paint that first. May have to come back and reestablish some color. Yep, I'm liking that. So the other guys, I figure out what color I'm going to use. I really ended up liking this olive color. It's very close. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So when I first started playing around with this, we did just over the gray, the skin tone, that kind of said, yeah, I like that. Orc skin, that's going to go on the copper. So here was the Caucasian skin color base versus the desert tan. And it's just something a little, it's easier to see on their back. It's a little warmer over here as compared to my test one over the gray. Of course, that's the only one I didn't bring over with me. If I can even find him. Here he is. So the original, that's the forest, what's this, forest sprite? Yeah, so forest sprite over traditional zenithal versus the same color over Caucasian flesh. You can still see it in his teeth. Looks like he's foaming at the mouth. Versus over the desert tan. So if I turn them, we can see the most skin. I think you can start seeing dark, lighter color, and then this yellowish color, and that's what I'm going for. Now, I've set that aside, set that aside, set that aside, and now I've got the little mini Red Hulk. That's kind of a cool looking orc. I really like this blue, so that might just be over a white base, just to really set up. But then you have, this is the ochre clay. It's kind of a yellowish color. I liked it a lot. And this is actually desolate brown, which is olive. And I really like the offset with the orange pants. With the orange and the black, sometimes they go together. So I don't know what I would do differently with this one. I want some more warmth. But I think I'm going to set up for a second squad. You know, if you had, where'd he go? These two guys, you would obviously be able to tell who's on what team. So I think I'm going to set up for blue next. So let's, where's my desert? And this cat, this is an older bit, and this cap has seen much better days. I'm just going to save some paint. It's thinned down, but this paint is old. Like I said, it's old, so it gets to dry out a little bit. Where'd my lid go? That should work. Yeah, Yes, I said orc. Come sue me, Games Workshop. You don't own orcs. I don't have to copyright it. Yeah, or maybe you do, but I think anyone could fight that one. I literally had it in my hand. All right, well, we're gonna come back to this one. I gotta remember to come back to that. Let's get this cleaned out. I said the blue is pretty. It was pretty pale, like battleship gray colors, something like that. So I don't know if I want to go much lighter. I'm looking at my color palette. I do have an ivory. Ivory could be nice. There's also, I have a sky gray. Sky gray, or I have a green gray. That might set up a little green undertone. We're flying by the seat of the pants here, folks. I said, worst come to worst, if I clog up all the detail, messing around, I'll just 3D print some new ones. If I don't like it, I'll just overspray it and just do standard speed paint. Let's do that. So this is an ad hoc Saturday, normal Saturday night, but it's a Monday afternoon of painting. Oh. All right, yeah. Oh, things just bother me. This keeps running. I must have dropped my thinner as well. If I wasn't just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants, would have had this all set up and it'd be a lot better. And you guys are probably looking right on the screen going, it's right there in front of you, which is usually how it goes for me. Well, I just have to be very careful with the big thinner. It sounds like my neighbor's home. We're getting ready to go somewhere. So I learned my lesson last time. I don't need as much. I realize I'm filling this up off camera, but that's what you got. So again, let's do test fire in here. So you can see that color. All right, let's move these guys out of the way. For the blue, I still want some guys that have some skin you can see. So I think I'm going to do these open vest guys. They still got the... I got to turn on the compressor. Fill up. So you can start to see the gradation color there already. In that gray. And part of me says, you know what, when these get on the tabletop, you're not going to see any of this. It's just fun to experiment and play around with, and I feel like I'm creating more than just slapping paint. Hence the old slap chop, right? It's like, yeah, if I was doing 40K, that would be something I would be looking at hard just to get tons of miniatures. They would be guardsmen of Craig, or whatever the heck they're calling them now. To me, they're still always will be the Imperial Guard. I've sold off most of my vehicles. in bits. I still have a few guardsmen themselves, the old Steel Legion guardsmen. I'm just not sure I want to part with them. I can already feel this guy wiggling on his blue tack. Didn't I have another guy with a steel arm somewhere? My test piece is over here. Put some overspray on him. Sorry about the camera, I just hit it with my head. A lot less skin on these guys. Again, I think everyone's head is going to come back and get a quick splash of white on the top. These guys do have some back muscle too. I really like that model. There's something about him. I need to check. Nope. No, he doesn't have back skin. I wish I had another flowy open, but I suppose if I get someone else coming over who wants to play, it's going to be delineated by skin color anyhow, not what they're wearing. That's more for me. I'm looking to see if he's all buttoned up on the inside. It looks like he is. Not going to be much facial for him. It's just going to be teeth and gums and tongue. I'll come back and hit that with some black. This dude's going to be super quick to paint once this flashes off. Holy moly, that went a lot faster. Yeah, back when I first got back into this hobby, I was buying crap at Hobbit Schlobbit because they were the only paint store in Georgia. And then I said, hang on a second. I found some people online. I like Hobby House of Burbank out of Burbank, California. Number one, they'll ship it anywhere. They give you some really good discounts. They've got every color you could want. And they turn over their inventory so quickly you get fresh paint. Unlike at Hobbit Lobbit or Hobby Lobby, they're not really set up for hobbies. They are definitely just about the Christian door schlock, and I don't really like their company policy. So the less of my hard-earned cash I can put into creepy Christian pockets, the happier I am. And yeah, you can unsubscribe if that pisses you off. I don't care. I am not a Christian. I'm not religious, and I really would like to get back to what this country was founded on, and that's you can practice whatever weird cult shit you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody or children. And more children are abused in the name of God than atheists and normal people. And that's not just the Catholic priest. Let me tell you, that pales in comparison to the others, the Protestants. All right. So we got green, we have blue, green and blue. want to go with the red. The ochre is nice. It's a yellow greenish. I get you more of this color. So you'd have this guy, and that'd be the three model colors. Green, yellow, blue. Or do we go red? Red could be cool, man. And I believe that's actually not even a real red. It's this goddess glow, so it's like a purplish red. It's pretty light. I might just do a white zenithal on him and try and bring that out. And that just gives me options. And instead of a pure white, we'll go with an aged white. All I gotta do is shake this one up. A couple drops in there, because we're not gonna need much. Now that we've learned our lesson. And here's our next undertone. It's got aged white. It's not quite bright white. So let's get these guys. Yeah, again, they're not going to have much skin because they got that closed vest. Hit the face pretty hard. Sorry for the little bit of side political rant, but as soon as I saw that Hobby Lobby label, it triggered me into all the crap that's going on today. Mr. No More Wars. And we're back in the Middle East fighting another stupid war over there. I like that. So just laying down. Making sure I hit the hands. Like I said, I have not played 40K in a very long time. About 4 years ago when I moved here, I found a Games Workshop store, and I went in just to try out the new Kill Team. I actually bought the book, which was stupid of me, because other than the store owner, I was not made to feel very welcome. They're very beardy guys. I was talking about other game systems, and man, you thought I would have been talking a foreign language. They just didn't understand. I think at the time I was playing some MCP, and the one guy was kind of intrigued at the ability to take terrain and use it as a weapon. And that is, you take damage, you build up power. Is this guy wearing a vest? It's got like one side. Oh, it's ripped. Cool. So there's the vest, and it's like shorn off. And yes, I could have filled in those seams, but they're game pieces. I'm not that worried about it. Oh, he's got the bare foot as well. I know it's the same general body. I did have a bare foot. Who was it? No. Somebody. Compressor, driving me bonkers. Maybe it was that dude. I was just looking. I was pretty sure I sprayed someone with a bare foot. with going inside. I've looked at these models far too many times. So, let's get this. Oh, I got some comments. A Wog from the UK. Hey, Jam, it's cool. And hello, go for it painting. Yep. Like I said, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm just going for it with this compressor. It's on its last leg, so it's probably all you guys can hear. So I can see some spots right here that didn't get as good a coverage as I wanted. But it's the underside, so it shouldn't matter too much. Alright. I'm going to do a quick color change. And what I'm going to do is just, yeah, I can still see some more there. Come back and give that a hard clean once I'm done with the live streaming. So like I said, one of the things that I did want to do is hit most of their faces with a little bit of pure white. So here's my white Blanco. And I love Lejo paints for my basic acrylic paints. I haven't really looked at their speed paints or speed paint equivalents. Where is my fine dry brush? It's one of those days. One of those days. Da 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 da. Oh, yeah. Well, when I get done here, I'm gonna work on some model building because it's just too dang hot to be outside. That's all I'm saying. I've got a really cool dry brush that apparently I've misplaced. So, and it's super small. Not super small, but it's small enough to hit those faces well. No, that's not that. Here. And I store stuff under the desk, but that's. I was using this stuff when I was gap filling earlier. That's a flat brush that might work. But you know what we're going to do? We're just going to try and be judicious. Is that the word? And I've got like a makeup-like brush. It's actually a actual paintbrush from a paintbrush company. It's just they call it an oval mop. So we're going to give that a try. And what I'm going to try and do is just load up the center part of it. Yeah, you can go off. And then we'll take one of these guys. Definitely white on the tops of his ears. Just enough. For me, that'll help blow out his face a little bit. Nah, I didn't get enough paint off that. Plus, he's got a plate in his head. Some brave souls out there mowing their lawn. See, these guys got, a bit of their backs. Across their upper back a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, this guy, he's not worth it. He's got that big face mask. I think this will help the ice blue guys a lot. They might get a little bit heavier. A little bit heavier overwash. Overbrush. Overwash. This one got blue tacked. Yeah, that's giving me the effect that I'm looking for. It may not show up on my camera because my lighting's not great, but yeah, we looked at that guy already. But like with this guy, you can really see the gray zenithal over the black, and then that sky gray, and then the white. So these guys, aged white. I was going to kind of stipple. Because that'll be the brighter. When I get around to some of the reds. Big ass scar on his face. And he's got a vest, so. And then this one. There we go. Get this mop cleaned up. That was that. That's less than an hour with a lot of jibber jabber in there, and I've got 9 models, base coated for skin, for 3 different skin tone textures. And now I just want to let all that prep work cure up. And like I said, we got 4 Sprite for these guys. Probably will come back with that guy's was like a battleship color. Where'd it go? Maybe I still have it out on the desk. Not runic gray. Oh, white. Oh, it is still out. So these guys are going to get that battleship gray color. And then these guys probably going to end up Goddess Glow, kind of gets a red color. But there's also the ochre clay and the desolate brown. All depends on if I want that color. See, there's the ochre clay. There's the Goddess Glow. And that's the desolate brown. I'm kind of thinking. No, that's the wrong one. It's this one. That could be my 3 different skin tones. They really stand out against each other as opposed to, say, even Well, the yellow's not too bad. The olive's a little close to this for board differentiation, so it's really... That's the load out. I mean, these two are obviously much different than that. That's still close. I'll have to see. All right. Well, that's it. That's a little over an hour. Like I said, I'm not sure when I'm going to do a live cast again. Who knows? Maybe Wednesdays are my last day off for a while. So maybe Wednesday, or if I'm not overly tired, just speed painting. Maybe some evening after work. In the meantime, like I said, I've got a piece of terrain here with this big lumpage on it. I've got this little piece of terrain I've got to work on. I've got several wall pieces over there. And barricades. So hopefully sometime in July or maybe August, we'll see if I can't get a game. And I've also got to work on some Matchbox stuff for Gaslands. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great Monday, and we will see you next time. Until then, happy modeling.